companies in the small cap and mid cap space. But rather than try to find that selling basically to America, which is probably under a cloud right now, not in the generics but in the branded space, we tended to buy companies with some intellectual property. तो कोई वैक्सीन डेवलप कर रहा है या कोई एंटीबायोटिक्स डेवलप कर रहा है या कोई A&D is buying it in order to sell it, or they have facilities already in America, so they do a good contract manufacturing job. And I'm finding, surprisingly for me, a lot of opportunity in the pharma sector. So if you ask me where have I put additional money, I have also put it a lot in the pharma sector.
Okay. But ज़्यादातर जो मतलब अमेरिका में एक्सपोजर कम होना चाहिए उनका या फिर वो भी चलेगा?
You know, it's a bit more nuanced approach than that. What I'm trying to find is companies that own intellectual property.
Okay.
So if you make a vaccine, that's intellectual property. If you make an antibiotic, that's intellectual property. If you buy an NDA and make a drug with that, that's intellectual property. And we are finding
ना बना पाए उसको basically कोई आसानी से ना replicate
because there's some protection of patent and process out there. So we're trying to find those companies, and we're finding, a good bunch of those companies. Surprising to me also, I'm finding it.
ओके तो फार्मा हो गया, रेयर अर्थ हो गया, यहाँ आपको काफ़ी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ दिख रही हैं. कोई और सेक्टर जो प्राइवेट ना हो लेकिन पब्लिक मार्केट में जहाँ आपको इस समय लग रहा है कि रिटेल अगर थोड़ा स्टडी करे तो अच्छे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिल सकती हैं उन्हें?
I think tech has been beaten down a lot, and I think there's a lot of worry what will happen in tech, and even I'm worried. I don't know. I'm not sure whether it will do well or slow down or headcount will go down completely. But within the tech subsector, you look at what is called GCC, Global Capability Centers, that are being built out there. There's an unlimited boom going on in that sector.
Okay.
So companies that profit out of that, there are some listed companies that play that place, but also there are companies that supply to it or profit from it. I think that is one sector that I'm increasingly finding that, because there's a almost secular boom going on in that, because of H1B visa, more work will be outsourced. India has become a cheap outsourcing destination. Cost of communication is low. Cost of real estate is low. So there's a secular growth story going on in that sector.
अभी सर एक सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रहा था, और जैसे कई बार होता है कि आप पूरी रिसर्च करते हैं और ये बहुत लोग पूछना चाहेंगे, सब कुछ करते हैं, उसके बाद भी कई बार कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट जैसे कुछ समय के लिए नहीं चलती हैं. एक डिजिटल इंफ्रा स्टॉक में आपने बेट ली थी, वो स्टॉक नहीं चला और इनफैक्ट काफ़ी नीचे है, काफ़ी सेटबैक भी आए. ऐसे में आप क्या उसे होल्ड करते हैं, उसे अभी भी आप होल्ड कर रहे हैं, या फिर आप एक जैसे कहते हैं कड़वी दवाई पीकर उसमें से निकलने की फिर सोचते हैं?
Great question, glad you asked. First, आपके medium के साथ let's start with a statement that a lot of people do fake social media posts, what I've done and what I haven't done. I don't have any social media posts other than आपके लोगों के साथ interview करने में मेरा कोई electronic media. So most of what you're seeing is fake. So please don't follow what everyone says. Having said that, yes, I have invested in digital public infra stocks. I remain bullish on that. I think I made a wrong valuation guess, so the stocks have corrected 20-30% and are still down. Do I hold on the stocks? Yes, because I'm basically still bullish on that space. When do I sell the stock? आपने पूछा था. When do you realize कड़वी दवा कब पीने का? When you think you're basically wrong. For example, आपको बताऊँ, a few years back I made a company called Cyber Security. But that never proved right. It never grew. So I took the loss and got out of that stock at that time. So occasionally you will make blunders in your portfolio. So that's why it's a strong argument not to follow anyone blindly, to make sure you do your own thought process, your own thinking out there. So I think with digital public infrastructure stock, I believe that the rollout is happening even as we speak. I think perhaps I made a wrong bet in terms of valuation, which has now been corrected by the market, but I remain optimistic on that whole area.
एक दिवाली गिफ्ट, आपने इतने सारे सेक्टर सब सेक्टर्स की बात की, अगर जो रिटेल सुनकर आपको अगर थोड़ी खुद रिसर्च करके अगर किसी एक ऑब्वियसली आप स्टॉक का नाम नहीं लेंगे, लेकिन अगर किसी एक जगह पैसा लगाना है तो सबसे ज़्यादा बुलिश आप इस समय जितनी भी आपने बातें की उनमें सबसे ज़्यादा किस पे होंगे?
I think within the public sector space, you look at a construction and a finance company, because I think there's going to be a massive infrastructure rollout by the government. For उदाहरण के तौर पे, Delhi is built horizontally, okay, but now because of space constraint has to be built vertically. But that means someone has to do that work, okay? So if you look at companies over a 3-year period, I'm not saying over 3 months, 6 months, you can go completely wrong in these businesses, but over 6 months, over a 2-3-year period, people who do the construction, India will be the builder to the nation. That is what someone told in the press today. And the financiers of these kind of projects will do well. So I would recommend as a basket, see, leadership is already in the public sector stock. You want to find, other than defense and rail,